Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Here we go. We're going to speak today about law and order, justice, exclamation mark. One of the main powers that Moshiach is going to have, we'll get into the Reb Nachman shortly, is that he's going to be a pursuer of law and order and justice and truth. Emes. Emes, which means truth, mishpat, justice. And he's going to guide humanity in a way of complete truth, justice. He's not going to be swayed by polls and swayed by just, what's going to get him good votes. He's going to be a man of complete truth. And he's going to abolish all falsehood from the world. And it's going to usher in an era of complete clarity and peace based on the principles of truth. And any of the gray areas of life will be completely clarified for us. That's part of even Elijah the prophet, who's going to be the forebringer of Moshiach. We know will come, like when the Gemara says, Teku, it's left unresolved. So what does the Gemara mean? Everybody knows Teku means Tishbi Yavai, Tishbi Yataretz, Kushais, Vabayais, the Tishbi, that Eliyahu, who's from Tishbi, will come and he will be mitaretz. He will solve all the problems and the difficulties. So when you see a teku in the Gemara, not like the Israelis, after a game, after a soccer, football, and it was a 1-1. What do they say? Teku. Was it teku? Is it teku? It's left unresolved. No, not like that. By the way, also at the soccer matches, Hashem Yirachem on Shabbos. We need a lot of help here. When one scores a goal, you know what everybody screams? Yesh Elokim! Yesh Elokim! Yesh Elokim! It's Shabbos, brother! Yesh Elokim! It's just the proof of how holy the godly soul is. It never goes anywhere. Now, there's something very powerful about when justice is served. There's something that we relate to when the truth comes out. It's very powerful. It's very satisfying. When somebody lies, it upsets us. Why do you feel good, even when I say the word true, something is truthful, it sits well with us. But when I say the word lie, falsehood, it rubs us the wrong way. So the Rosh Hashanah speaks about this quite a bit, that it's because you have a soul inside of you that wants truth. And when somebody lies to you, it bothers you. Why should it bother you when somebody lies? Why not? He lied, so what? Because there's something in our soul that knows that something, if it's false, if it's sheker, if it's not true, something's not right. But when something is true, like we're going to talk about, the Gemara says, Nikarim divrei emet, that the words of truth, like the Gemara says in Sota, Testament Aleph, Testament Beis, that when someone says words of truth, it rings with authenticity. It rings true to you. It rings with sincerity. There's something true about it. But something which is a lie, it rubs us the wrong way. Just look at the wonderful video of Ted Cruz and Jack Dorsey and see what it looks like to have truth be squeezed out. Now, Moshiach is going to be able to transcend all of the differences and all of the falsehoods, because we mentioned this before, Kabbalistically, the soul of Moshiach comes from the world called Atik, a very, very high world, which means that there's no differences there. There's no pettiness, there's no smallness, there's no argument, there's certainly no falsehood there. And therefore, he's going to be able to see above all of the differences and be able to link a person to pure truth. Moshiach, he will have this amazing ability to transcend all of the differences of humanity and unify everybody in truth. No biggie, but he'll be able to pull that off. Now, generally when we speak, Moshiach is going to be a master of mediation, a master of creating dialogue between people. Because one of the main reasons why we don't seem to find mutual truth is we're not really communicating properly. We seem to have our thing, and this one has their thing, and they're not actually talking. I'm not sure if you ever noticed two people talking. Generally, people have a hard time talking with somebody, but rather we talk at somebody. A classic example of this is someone says something, and then the other guy is talking, and as he's talking, you're like looking at him, trying to look polite, and you're not even listening to what he has to say, you're just thinking already about your rebuttal. You're already ready just to attack, if you're polite enough to wait until he pauses, but you've already formed what you're going to say, you're just waiting to strike and attack. Well, why not respond to actually what he's talking about and create real communication and dialogue? This is one of the main things that is a challenge in marriages, is to learn to speak together, not at each other, but to speak together. The word Moshiach has the root of, right, Moshiach. Moshiach is also Messiah, the one who speaks, the one who goes into dialogue. Like Vayetze Yitzchak la Suach Basodeh. Suach, this root of Shin and Ches means to have communication. Communication means that I could talk to somebody, I could really communicate. When Yitzchak went to talk to Hashem, there was communication. He was speaking, listening to Hashem. Hashem is speaking back. There's real give and take, listening, really communicating. Mashiach is going to be the master conversationalist. He's going to be able to allow communication. And once people can actually start talking to each other, then let's hear what you really have to say. Let's hear. That's why I like Joe Rogan, because it appears to me that he actually allows people to talk and to say their piece. And, how long do you want? Kanye, Ben Shapiro, you want 1 hour to 3 hours? Whatever. Well, there's no end to the podcast. We'll just keep talking because we're going to give space to say that truth. And we're going to actually try and have a conversation here, as opposed to just nailing the person without actually hearing what they have to say. Once Mashiach is going to come and teach us real communication skills, how to listen to somebody and talk properly, then we're going to be able to find our similarities. We're going to see that we're much more similar than different. That's an amazing thing, because most of the time we're thinking about how different we are. There's a famous joke that, there's something called black and white Jews, the penguins, and then there's something called white and blue. Okay, it means more like the colorful. So if you focus on what we have in common, it's all white, it's all pure. But if you focus on our differences, then we're just black and blue. You get it? We just beat each other up, and then, we're all bruised up and there's nothing. But when you could see the common point of the white, of the pureness, so Mashiach is going to show us what we have in common. He's going to unify us by showing humanity how much we have in common. He's going to create the dialogue that we're actually speaking together, not at each other, not knocking heads with each other, listening to each other. From that, we're going to allow truth to emerge forth. From that truth, we're going to be able to come to pure justice, because justice means truth. And the lies will fall away. Yeah, so far so good. Questions? Okay. So the prophet says in Isaiah, Yeshaya the prophet, Nun Tes Vav, that in the days of Mashiach, truth will be nederet. Truth will be what's called absent. In the days, i.e. in the footsteps leading up to Mashiach, right before Mashiach comes, truth will be very hard to find. I want to explain this according to what the Zohar says. The Zohar says that this world that we're in, okay, you guys know what this world is called? Olam Hazeh. What's the world to come called? Olam Haba. It doesn't mean the world that one day will come, it means the world that is coming now. Haba. Not Sheyavo. Haba, that's coming right now, that you're forming it now. It's not like you're going to get to the world to come and you're going to cash in a bunch of Chuck E. Cheese tokens One's called Tefillin, one's called Shachris, one's called, afternoon Seder, one's called Rabbi Nachman Shir, another one's called, have a bunch of kids, and, one's called making a shahakol. It's not that. It's, did you transform yourself into a man of God? That same guy will now be in the world to come, unleashed. So, whatever you are by the end of 120 years, that's it. It's not like I can't wait to check in these tokens and at this big old doll up there in heaven. It's who you are, who you became. So the Zohar says this world is called, not only is it called this world, it's called Alma de Shikra, the world of lies. This world is called the world of lies. We just had one of the top injury lawyers in the world, I think, Harry Rothenberg, that he spoke to the yeshiva yesterday. So he does litigation basically for the last number of decades. He said, what is the general thing that is common to every single plaintiff and defendant? They're all doing what? They're all lying. Everybody's lying. Everyone's lying to get the most amount of money possible. It's like commonplace that everyone lies. It's a world of lies. This is a world of lies. So either, you can understand the Zohar, that's a very simple understanding of the Zohar. It's a world of lies. Everyone's lying. Everyone's lying. The lies go so far that they promise you things. You ever see there's they're trying to sell you, a Ford Focus. And all of a sudden you have this a woman on the trunk of the car, not exactly dressed like she's in Meir Sharon. And you assume that when you buy the Ford Focus, there's just going to be a woman on top of the trunk of your, the front hood of your car. Somehow that's just part of the deal, right? That's what you think. So you go and drop $30,000 on the car, and you're thinking what happened to the rest of the package that comes with the car? And the answer is, they're lying to you. No, they would never lie to me.
That's what they're trying to grab your attention.
Yeah, but what are they really telling you?
The image.
They're selling you an image. As if somehow you crack a bottle of Heineken, and all of a sudden music hits, the Tiesto's on the loudspeakers, everyone shows up with pretty looking girls knck on your door, come in, or you crack a bag of Doritos and people are phoning you, texting you, what, smells great, whoa, hey, yeah, was the game in here? Yeah, oh yeah. And the guy's he comes home in his dark basement apartment, open the Doritos and nobody showed up. They lied to me. You're right. Because the Zohar says it's called the world of lies, my friend. Alma de Shikra, the world of lies. Welcome to the world of lies. But it's deeper than that. Not only, we can all relate to that. But the world of lies means Hashem's presence is very concealed in this world. Is there anything more real and true than God? No, He's the ultimate emet. The Gemara says that when God signs His name on something, when you sign your name on something, right, your signature, that means you're giving your full authorization that is me. The Gemara says when God, so to speak, signs His name, i.e., it's not saying that He does anything physical. It's saying, what is the authorization of the representation of God? You know what the Gemara says? How does God sign His name? He doesn't write God, or even Yud Kei Vav Kei. He writes Emet. He writes truth. That the most distinguishing factor of God is truth. Because truth is everlasting. Truth we're going to learn more about. Truth goes on forever. Real truth. God is true. And God is which means God is reality. Truth is reality. Sheker, a lie, is non-reality. So let's put these pieces all together. When a person's involved in a lie, is he in reality? No, essentially he's pulling himself out of reality. That's why people get involved in these webs of lies, and they slowly are disattaching themselves from reality. And the lies become so elaborate that they don't know where they started, where they ended. You can't even find your way. It's like way too deep. That's a very sad situations. We have to help those people a lot. That when the Zohar says it's a world of lies, it means it's a world that's so concealing Hashem, who's the reality, and it's a world that offers so many opportunities to leave reality, God forbid, by getting involved in the falsehoods of this world. But they look so real. It looks so real and so alluring to do things against the Torah. You know what's also called true? Moshe emet ve Torato emet. The Torah is also called emes. Which means if the Torah is called true, and God is called true, and Moshe is called true, who's also one of the Mashiachs, it means when I engage in connecting to Hashem, who's called emet, connecting to Torah, which is emet, which is true, connecting to the tzaddikim, Moshe, and the tzaddikim ha'emet, the true tzaddikim that are true, it means I am entering real reality. It's like the Matrix stuff. I take the whatever pill and I go into the reality of what's really going on. When I choose to go into the world of not Torah, not Moshe or the tzaddik or Mashiach, not the God, what am I essentially doing? I'm leaving reality. Remind me what pill it is, where the guy's like, just give me the Wagyu steak and the wine. The red pill is the blue is like, you just, yeah. The blue pill is, you know, you put on the tube, you put on the thing and just, actually, you know, coming to yeshiva is hard. I might have to, I like just doing whatever I want, whenever I feel like it, with whomever I want. So that's the blue pill. The blue pill is just, it's the numbing pill. It's do whatever you want, anytime you want. The only problem is, it's a departing from reality. It's leaving, it's literally. There's a scary visual of this. I think there was a movie like this, where a person would do something, and then he saw like his hand disappearing. And all of a sudden, it was like he was going into the future, or to the, maybe it was Back to the Future. Yeah, was it? And all of a sudden he saw like body parts dissolving in front of him because he didn't really exist based on people. So that movie has certain accuracies to it. Actually, that I'm pointing out is when a person does non-Torah, he dissolves, sorry to get so like graphic, he's dissolving himself. He's dissolving, not putting on tefillin is like dissolving the arm. Not doing certain mitzvahs like tzedakah with the hand is like the hand starts disappearing. Not doing, getting angry, which corresponds to the liver, is like the liver starts leaving reality. And there's certain mitzvahs which are like the whole Torah, like Shabbos, which means if God forbid certain things are being messed around with, it's like the whole person is dissolving. Don't worry, you can do tshuva. There's always tshuva for everything. And therefore you could literally bring yourself back into consciousness through tshuva and through strengthening yourself during this world, which is essentially the choice between going into true, which is called reality, and leaving falsehood. But the general world is that this is a world of falsehood. That's why the Zohar says this world is called Olam HaSheker, the world of Sheker. But like we've mentioned so many times, Sheker, Shin, Kuf, and a Reish, has no feet, the Gemara says. It only stands on a single point here. The Kuf is a single point. The Reish is a single point, which means Sheker all falls down on its own. But Emet, right? Emet has 2 feet here, a whole base here, 2 here. So Emet is Yatziv. Emet is strong. Truth is strong. Truth goes on forever. You can't knock down truth. That's why Emet, truth, is the first letter of the alphabet. Mem is the middle letter of the alphabet. Tav is the last letter of the alphabet. It just goes the whole way through. Truth goes all the way. Truth will never fail. Truth will continue. Yaakov is also called Emet, the man of truth. Titan Emet liYaakov, to Yaakov. The Zohar calls Yaakov the Briach HaTichain, which is the part of the tabernacle that would go. It was a beam that went all the way around. It was a miracle. It went this way. It was a metal beam, and then it made a 90-degree turn, turned, 90-degree turn, to keep all the boards up. Literally, Emet means from the beginning. So Emet, as long as you're holding on to Emet, that's why the Torah is eternal. You're always going to be holding on. The Torah will continue for all eternity. But Sheker, like we say in Rosh Hashanah davening, all the falsehood of the world and all the evil of the world, ka'ashan tichle, it will just go up like smoke. It will just go up. It's just going to fade away. It's going to fade away. When Sheker, when falsehood gets essentially removed, Moshiach there'll be a great event, a great shechita, and we're going to shecht it. The Yetzer Hara is going to be a ganze shecht, and it will be gone forever. And to the degree that a person held on to emet, he'll be in reality. But to the degree that a person held on to sheker, he'll feel like, oh my goodness, I bought into non-reality. What am I? Do I have anything? I'll leave you with one Gemara. The Gemara says, at that very event, when they shecht the Yetzer Hara, so the righteous people of the world will be crying, and the wicked people of the world will also be crying. And the Gemara says, why were the righteous crying? Because they'll see the Yetzer Hara, and the Yetzer Hara will look like this huge mountain, the evil inclination, and they'll be crying, oh my goodness, this is Mount Everest. We were able to conquer this. It was so big. Unbelievable. Because they fought their whole life not to fall into the falsehood, not to be lured by the temptations and the smoke and mirrors of falsehood. And then the wicked people will also see the downfall of the Yetzer Hara, and they'll be crying. Because they'll see that the Yetzer Hara looks like a tiny little string, like a little nothing. Like a string on the floor that they just had to walk over the string, and they're going to say, it was nothing. I couldn't even walk over the string. I had to go and just lose myself in falsehood. It was nothing. There was nothing to sheker. It was like smoke. You know, smoke looks so big and overwhelming, and then what happens to it? You go through smoke. There's nothing there. You see a big cloud. There's nothing. The smoke just dissipates. It's gone. And when Moshiach comes, he's going to reveal truth. And therefore, one of the most important qualities for us to work on now is I want to give everyone a little bit of something to think about is, what are the things in my life that I'm holding on to which are true? And what are the things in my life that I'm still buying into that are still sheker? What are the things that I'm still attaching myself to that are not really according to the Torah and Hashem and the tzaddikim? Because the Torah is emet, the tzaddikim, the righteous are emet, and Hashem is emet. So if I live in that world, I'm in reality. But if I'm moving away from that, it means that there's a removal from reality, chas v'shalom. We should be zocher that Mashiach will come and it will teach us all about emet, and we should be zocher to have that right now. And b'nei beis hamikdash b'mher v'yameinu amen.